What's happening, bunnies? Today we've got a really cool gameplay for you guys. We have been trying a comp that's become quite popular recently, which is Dragon Knights. It's something that I'm not extremely good at, so this is more of an attempt at this composition. It's new for me, so I've been trying it out. I've been watching what the other streamers have been doing and the other content creators and learning from them. So this is my attempt at Dragon Knights. I do hope you guys enjoy it. I thought it's brilliant. It's one of my favorite new comps at the moment. So if you do drop a like and a subscribe, we'd really appreciate it. Your guys' support has been really phenomenal and it means the world to us. So thank you for that. We will catch you in the gameplay. Enjoy. What's happening, bunnies? And we've got a great gameplay for you today. We are doing Dragon Knights, and this is something that I've been so excited to do for a while now because I haven't worked a lot with the Dragon synergy, so I've been watching a lot of the other content creators and how they're building those synergies up, and I thought I'd give it a try. The opportunity rang, as you can see in this instance. It is a ranked game, and you can see we have a few kings in the lobby, which is quite exciting. As a Rook 7 pushing up to king level, it's always nice to see how those guys play, and you'll definitely see as the game progresses that the kings play very differently to a lot of the Rook players. You might think, well, that doesn't make a lot of sense, but when you notice the results, they must be doing something different to be rising up the ladder the way that they are, and you'll see it in this gameplay. I'll point it out as we go along. But as you can see, when we opened up, we got 2 Frost Knights off the cuff, so that's a nice quick one for us, and the Skybreaker to hold the front line. And I think that was already the first sign that maybe we'd be looking at some sort of a knight combo. And I've done a vid on Glacier Knights as well, so you guys can have a peek at that one. And I thought we'd try something a bit different. We do get our last Frost Knight already, which means we can 2-star him up and get the Skybreaker as well for our front line. So a nice good start for our purposes, and we should have quite a nice strong few opening rounds at least. Okay, having a look at the other guys, we have predominantly some warrior players. I noticed as well we do have a level 2 defector and a couple of sources. So that means there will be other glacier compositions happening and potentially some mage comps as well. So that should be quite exciting. When it comes to hunters and when it comes to mages, dragons are quite super effective against those teams, simply because once you have the full dragon synergy, the ultimates hit off as the round starts, which means that a shining dragon, for example, is able to get the ultimate straight through diagonally across and hit everyone in the back line. So that's one of the reasons why they're so strong. They almost become like ranged units themselves, and generally you would run a Dragon Knight on the front line, but the minute they ultimate, their range increases and you can push them into the back line. So because the synergy allows them to ultimate as the round starts, you can actually keep them in the back line from the original positioning, and that's something that you'll notice as we go through the rest of this round. So we've got Sniley there running knights, and then warriors and glaciers and 1 or 2 mages that I still see happening there. We have our first shining dragon on the board, and we do pick it up. We get rid of the God of War, and I'm wondering if that's not to level up and try and maintain. Yeah, so we econ up to 5, level up 1, and it gives us the opportunity to put in an extra piece. So now we've got 5 units on the board, and the Desperate Doctor is always a nice strong piece to have at this stage. I could have put on Shining Dragon, but I don't think that a 1-star Shiny Dragon is actually really that worthwhile. The DPS isn't great, and it tends to be quite squishy and die quite early. Not to say that the Defector is much better, but the Desperate Doctor 100% is the right call to put on them. We do lose to this person. They've got 3 2-stars already, including the Whisper Seer with the summons, so that's going to be a bit too much for us to handle, and that's Greg, who's currently sitting in 2nd place. So that knocks us out of our win streak, which is unfortunate. I would have liked to at least have started that. But it is still early days, and that could potentially push us into a losing streak as well, we'll see how it plays out in the next couple of rounds.
Goblins love
Toothache? Remove it. Itchy hand? Same thing.
Okay, so I think a good call there. Let's get rid of the defector. We already have the Glacier Synergy, the 2 Glacier Synergy. We don't have 4 Glacier players, so it doesn't really help for us to try and force that comp. And the defector is not high on DPS at this stage of the game. So having the extra mechs on the front line is definitely going to help us just to get a bit more sturdiness and tankiness and carry. So that our Desperate Doctor can ultimate and we can get the Frost Knight to do damage from a range. And I think it would have paid off the... Let's see, maybe we still actually pick this one up. I don't think so. Those wards are always troublesome. Yeah. So the Poisonous Worms wards take us out at the end, but a nice close match. So I'm pretty comfortable with where we are. And we get our first Knight tank. He's our Hell Knight, so he'll be a bit of a frontline unit for us, and it'll also give us our first Knight Synergy, our 2 Knight Synergy. So definitely worthwhile to take off one of these Skybreakers for that synergy to come into play. So I would say our strength of our team at the moment is sort of like medium. It's not overly strong, and you can see there are some of the warrior type teams that are just going to bulldoze through us at the moment. But it's okay because we have an understanding of what our plan is, and I think we're quite comfortable that even if we start losing, we can just pull into a losing streak and hopefully we get our econ up. Okay, and there our losing streak starts. So we're now in 6th position. We've just hit into the losing streak, and I think the tricky part now will be balancing to ensure that we actually lose more matches and we don't win any of them by mistake. And also that we don't lose by too much. So we need to keep our team reasonably strong, but not strong enough to win the match. Yeah, so we don't make any changes here. We've got 10 econ at the moment, and we want to make sure we get the interest, the extra interest, so we don't spend the extra cash there. And this looks like it's the other Glacier Knight team. This is Snaily. And his defectors actually pulled through there, which has helped him last a bit longer, but we do take the match, and that's a bit unfortunate. As I was saying, we actually wanted to start losing, I think, a bit there. We're now in that awkward win-lose transition where we're winning some and losing some, and that's not going to help our economy build at all. So we need to just hope then that our shop provides us with the right pieces, hopefully then to push into a win streak so that we don't have to worry about whether or not we're losing. And I think the idea now is to, as quickly as possible, get to our 4 Knight Synergy, so that we have some shield to protect us. But again, at this stage of the game, warriors are going to eat through the knights. I think if there's someone who's running a six warrior synergy, that could be a problem for us until we get our... Oh, and here's another issue. So this is Chimera, and Chimera is running basically an open fort just with the fortune teller on the board. And that's always difficult because if you're trying to play a losing streak, you're automatically going to win against this person, and she or he is a king one as well. So they obviously have an idea of what they're doing, and that means we're not going to be able to lose streaks. So that actually puts quite a lot of the players in the middle board at a very awkward position, because it'll be tough for them to lose streak without potentially running into that player and then winning that round. So I think based on that, we make a decision to get rid of the mechs and just put in our knights. We still don't have the 4 knight synergy, but I'm sure we'll pick up a lightning blade or an evil knight shortly, hopefully. Maybe even a dragon. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so I'm not extremely hopeful for this one, I must admit. And I don't like losing 2 rock columns. It's probably one of the worst feelings to lose to the level 10 creeps or the round 10 creeps. But I actually think we might pull this one through. I was a bit concerned there because we didn't have the 4 knight synergy yet. But I think our positioning helped a little bit there, and our Gali Knights definitely made a difference. And then we pick up our lightning blade. So that's good news for us. That means that we can look at a 4-night synergy. So I'm sure we'll pick that up.
Whisper said, "My
I
fate is
think we
sealed
could.
with snake venom."
Yeah, I think it's too early to get rid of the defectors because we don't have a berserker to take their place or a fortune teller, and I don't think at this stage we're 100% certain that we're going into a dragon knight synergy. So it's still looking like a glacier knight synergy, so we won't get rid of defector. We're one away from a 2-star of him anyway. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of defector, to be honest. Even at a level 3. I mean, he's fine, I guess. He has his purpose. The polymorphism thing that he does, where he transforms one of the guys into penguins, is helpful. But as you see, we lose quite substantially. And this is Exabyte, who's in first position. You can see those are predominantly 1-star units that beat us there. And that just shows you sort of how weak our team is at the moment. He only has 1 2-star unit. Now he has 2, but he only had 1 at that stage, and he still walked through us quite comfortably. So
Don't worry.
we do pick up our level 2 defector, so maybe it's now time that we could put him in. I don't know if there's anywhere that we want to put him in.
Not a magic fountain.
And I think I was contemplating for a second there, looking at the demon comp. We had a Taboo Witcher and a Fallen Witcher there on that shop. But definitely Dragon Knight, and it looks like we might even be looking at mages to go in with the source that we picked up. So let's see how that plays out. I think the idea is just to keep options open. You can go into a Knight Mage or into a Dragon Mage. So potentially getting both of those is doable. I'm not sure how strong it would be in terms of how many players you can have. There's only 10. So I'm not sure if you can have all 3 synergies, but I mean, if we think about it, you've got 3 dragons. One of them, okay, so you've got 3 dragons. If you want to get your knights, you'll need 6. Okay, so that's 9, but one of those overlaps because you've got shining, because you've got Dragon Knight. Yeah, you've got Dragon Knight, so that brings it back down to 8. And then to get mages, you've already got 1, 10. So you can actually do all 3. You can get the Dragon Knight Mage synergy. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens in this match. But you would need, I think, 10 pieces on the board to get that right. I could be mistaken. It's just a quick rough calculation that I'm doing in my head. But let's see how it plays out. So if Kimara reaches 50 econ soon, it's going to mean that she can stop. I keep assuming that it's a she because of the name, but if Kimara does stop, then potentially they'll be able to move off a losing streak, and because I think we're going to go into a losing streak quite shortly if we don't get some pieces quite quickly. We don't have a strong composition. We do pick up the level 2 Argali, which is awesome. I think if we had the level 2 Hell Knight or Evil Knight, one or the other, that would really help our cause here, just to get our team a bit stronger, because they are being destroyed by a lot of the teams. We do have 5-6 Knight synergy, so once we pick up our Dragon Knight now, we'll have the full 6 synergy, and I think I would probably replace Defector for that. I don't know, I just have a thing about Defector. I'm not very keen on him. And this is the other Glacier Knight team, and you can see we're stronger at this stage. We actually climbed through that quite comfortably. Okay, so let's have a look. See, we've got Glacier Knights, quite a few. I wish I scouted for a bit longer there. And I noticed the rest were beasts. There's quite a lot of Beast Warrior builds in there as well. There we go. So you can see Beast Warrior, Glacier Warrior, Divinity Warrior. So again, as with the current meta, I think just a whole lot of warrior builds, which is pretty straightforward. I think the idea is that you can branch quite comfortably from a warrior build as well. There's the Warrior Glacier now, which is a new thing, and then the Stone Warrior, the Spirit Warrior, which can also branch into mages. So there are options there, and it's nice to open with warriors because they are a strong opening composition. And that's probably what the guys are thinking of. And you guys will be very proud of me. If you guys watch my other videos, you'll know how I always complain about not repositioning for this wolf battle. And here I repositioned quite nicely actually. And I managed to get my Defector and Lightning Blade safe from these wolves. And I'm sure as a result we'll be able to take this quite comfortably. I always forget to reposition for wolves, so I'm really glad that I did it in this round. It was a bit last second, but you know what? It's a step in the right direction, so I'm quite happy.
You can't hold a candle to my power.
Yeah, a comfortable win there. And I see Kimara and Snaily are still running losing streaks. Their HP is getting lower now, and it's in that sort of 40 danger zone. I think once you go 40 to 30, you're in a serious danger zone when it comes to lose streaking. And we picked up our Venom there, so that's also exciting. That'll contribute towards our Dragon comp. All we need now is the Dragon Knight. That's actually our only missing piece. Then we have 6 Knights, and we will have the 3 Dragon comp. So I'm really hoping we pick up one of those quite soon. We do lock on 50 for the econ purposes, and so we have our last Shining Dragon in the store, which means we'll be able to pick him up next round, and that's quite exciting for us. Also, next round is potentially where we should be leveling up to level 8. We do lose this one, but again, that is expected at this stage. Our team's still not that strong. Hopefully when we get 6/6 Knight, our team will be a little bit stronger and we'll be able to carry a bit heavier through some of these teams. But we do pick up the Shining Dragon, and that's exciting for us.
Look out, world.
At this stage, we level up. Okay, so yeah, we do level up on curve to level 7. We've got 4 rounds before we need to level up to level 8, so our econ's in a good position. And this 2-star Shining Dragon is such a wonderful piece to have. Once Shining Dragon is at 1 star, not very useful. Once it gets to 2 stars, a far more useful piece. And we've got a Mana Crystal, Orb of Regen actually, that we put on there. So that'll really help in terms of mana generation. And we're up against a mage team now, so this should be quite exciting to see. Because, as I mentioned earlier, the dragon team should be quite strong against mages, but we haven't got that synergy in yet. So I want you guys to notice the difference now. And this is Exabyte. So as you play Exabyte, he's playing a mage comp, and let's see if we are able to become stronger against him in the later rounds as we build our dragon synergy into a stronger position and a stronger level of quality. Cool, another couple of nice knights, and we need these because we still haven't got 2-star on Lightning Blade or on Hell Knight. So we also spend a little bit of bucks there on rolling towards our leveling up. So that's important for us. Yeah, if we can 2-star the Venom as well, that would be great, because Venom at 1 star is also not extremely helpful. But once you get him to 2-star, he will add and contribute a little bit more to the team, and he's obviously necessary when it comes to our dragon comp. But we still haven't run into the Dragon Knight. I think now that it's level 7, we should start running into him a little bit more frequently, and hopefully we can do that soon, because we're not doing really well against a lot of these teams, and our HP is now at half, and I'd prefer to try and not let it decrease too much more than that. Okay, so yeah, we lose by another 3 or 4 points. Gonna hit us for 4, and our losing streak is official. So now we're officially on a losing streak. Luckily we get our 2-star Hell Knight, so that's gonna help us a little bit. And we spend a little bit of bucks on leveling up, and we keep it at 50. Yeah, this is the sign of a team that's starting to go into a nice shape. It's still not strong as you've seen, but we have a little bit of time. As I mentioned, we're not below 40 yet, so in terms of our lose streak, we're still okay. I start getting really uncomfortable when we're in the 30s, between 30 and 40, especially if our econ's not in a good position. But our econ's in a reasonable position, which means if we need to high roll, we can give it an attempt and just roll as much as we can until we get that knight, that dragon knight. And the other thing is, I mean, Dragon Knight's also, it's an imperative piece when it comes to our six knight composition, but at level 1 it's also not that strong. I mean, it's reasonably strong because it's going to ultimate immediately, but it's not the strongest piece that that's out there on the board at the moment until we get it to level 2. So we really want to actually find 3 Dragon Knights, or at least 2 and an egg if possible. So let's see how the shop treats us. But we're up against the creep round now, so we decide not to spend any money, keep it at 60 so we can get the interest, and and then next round we'll be able to actually roll quite nicely, because that should bring us past the 70 econ. Okay, so you can see our mage teams are starting to form now. We've got Glacier Knight teams as well, and a couple of warriors. So actually quite a nice mixed team. Even we've got a third mage team coming through there as well near the bottom. So should be quite interesting. There's quite a lot of mage teams in this lobby, and that's going to make a difference to us. So yes, we do hit the 70, so we can actually roll down quite nicely now. Probably pick up the Evil Knight, because I don't think we have him at level 2. No, we don't have him at 2 star. We've only got him at 1 star, so we pick that up. We can level up to level 8. It is round 21, so you want to make sure you've leveled up to level 8 if possible. We get our second Venom, so that's great. And I actually think we need to keep rolling, man. Okay, we run out of time, so let's put the Venom on. Or do we forget? Oh, we're a bit slow there. Okay, so misplay. We needed to get a piece on there. Don't make that rookie error ever. If you level up, make sure you put a piece on the board. I think that was just a bit of a timing issue. My APM was a bit slow there, but that's okay. It is what it is. And we're facing Greg now. He's got the warrior team, the Glacier warrior team. And on Snailey's board he beats us as well.
Never tried my poison.
Cool stuff. 2-star Venom. That's going to help our cause. All we need now is a Dragon Knight, and we still haven't run into one. So we actually need to roll now. So I think we're doing a bit of a roll ski, and we pick up the Dragon Knight. So that's going to be huge for us. We will probably take off the we'll need to take off the Defector. It's the only one that we can actually take off. We take off Lightning Blade, which is a bit of a silly mistake. Yeah, I don't know if that was the play there. I think Defector should have come off, because now we've lost our 6/6 synergy on the Knights. I think we're strong enough to get through this team because they're still playing mix for some reason. But that's okay. We did get our Dragon synergy, so you can see everyone ulted off as the round started, which is awesome. We get 100 mana when the round starts, but we'll need to make some changes there. You can see the strength of the Dragon Knight. I mean, it's a 1-star, but it's still pumping through some of those teams. So we win on both boards, and that's good news for us. Hopefully we need to actually make a decision now, because so there's the better call. Okay, there's the better call. We've noticed what the mistake we've made, so we're fixing that up now. We take off the Defector. Now we've got a 6/6 synergy on Knights and our 3/3 synergy on Dragons. So we find our second Dragon Knight there, and our third one. So very nice little roll there. And we actually now will need to consider starting to reposition into the corner, because we want to protect our Dragon Knight and our Shining Dragon by keeping them in the corner so that they don't get the damage. We do have our other tankier knights, like our Gali on the front line, so he should be able to hold the fort quite nicely, whilst the rest of our team delivers the DPS. And you can see we're doing quite nicely. That was Clown. He's in second place at the moment, and we actually moved through him quite nicely, considering we haven't repositioned yet. So I'm hoping we do reposition soon. So now we've got our 2-star Lightning Blade, which is important. I don't know why it's taken us so long to find that, but we finally did, so that's great. And I think it's always the 3-star Dragon Knight is always the dream. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but I still haven't managed to get one right. So if I do and we win the match, I will definitely post that video for us to check out, because a 3-star Dragon Knight is awesome. I have been up against 3-star Dragon Knights before, so I really hope that I can get one myself, but let's see what we can do this game. We do have a strange egg on our side, so that's going to help the cause. This is Exabyte. I believe he's also one of the King players, and and he's still eating through us, it looks like. So even with the 2-star Dragon Knight, it is not enough, and his mage team is really strong, so that's okay. We now have I think, the core composition that we'll be building. Oh wow, there's another Dragonite for us. That's actually really cool news. So we lock that in. We don't have econ now, so we need to start thinking about re-economizing back up to 50, so that we can actually start rolling a bit better. And we still have time. No one's been knocked out yet, so we're still in a reasonable position. But as I was saying, now we need to focus on the quality of our units and getting some of those 2 stars to 3 stars. We do still have space for a 9th player, or 9th piece, which would be awesome. But at this stage, I think if we don't get our quality up, you saw we already lost to Exabyte, and I think that he's going to be one of the ones we have to watch, because he has such a strong comp at the moment already, with the Storm Shaman and the Soul Reaper and the Thunder Spirit and the Lord of Sad. So tough lobby there. But yeah, we can always hope and dream, and I'm assuming we use the egg here. Generally, we wouldn't use the egg for this kind of a play, but I think bench space was an issue, so we could maybe have got rid of the Frost Knight. But I think in any Knight comp, there's certain units that you really want to try and 3-star, and that's your Lightning Blade, that's your Hell Knight, and that's your Frost Knight. So if you can 3-star those, that's always a win. And so I think I kept the Frost Knight on for that purpose. Okay, so here we have a hunter team. Yeah, this is a very interesting, this is like a pure hunter setup. This is Kimara. Okay, this is Kimara. So this is also one of the king players. And I actually think our Dragonite is gonna take this one. 2-star Dragonite is so strong, guys. It's really strong, and it can hold itself for a long time. You saw how long the rest of our team had already been destroyed, and he was still in there just damaging. So definitely a good piece to help carry, an absolute carrying unit. And yeah, we're not going to go for 3-star Venom, so makes sense. Let's pick this up. We can move one step closer towards our 3-star Frost Knight. And as you can see, our bench is starting to fill up with some nice pairs here. So we need to get a bit of luck in the store and get a 3-star unit. Maybe an Argali Knight would be awesome. But if not, we actually need to start considering econing. You can see the top 3 players all in a reasonable econ position, and we're not. We're the worst econ on the board. So that's going to be a problem as we move in towards the late game. We're managing for now simply because we have such a strong Dragonite. But if it wasn't for that Dragon synergy, I don't think we'd be doing very well now. So we have another Dragon synergy at the bottom there. But he's on 1% and he's got no econ, so I don't think he'll last very long. He was doing, he was going Dragon Mages, so he was going for a Mage Compass. He's got Tortola Elder there. That's Krrrs. So let's see what happens with him. CRZs. Yeah, so I think unless he's really lucky, I don't think he's going to be in too much longer. And we're facing him right now as we speak. So that Tortola Elder is definitely going to carry a while. The Tortola Elder ultimate is super strong, so let's see what happens. Yeah, we're still going to take it. So again, the only reason we won that round is because of our Dragonite. He really carried nicely there. We'll definitely pick up this Argali, and that puts us 1 Argali away from a 3-star. And a 3-star Argali Knight is such a nice frontline unit. Because his armor is just so strong, and he just takes damage for days, so that's great. Divinity Warlock happening there, another Divinity Mage, 1 Beast Warrior, and some Hunters. So I'm pretty comfortable. It's a nice mixed batch in this lobby. There's nothing worse when you're up against 6 of the same comp and people are still not branching into different comps. And it's generally warriors in this current meta. Ah, this is great. So this is Snaily. And Snaily is going to be knocked hard. He's got the 3-star Frost Knight there, so maybe if we manage to knock him out, we can get some of those back into the pool. And that was Greg. That was Greg's page there. So Greg beat us actually comfortably with his Glacier Warrior composition. So that's a bit of a concern for us. We need to start thinking about making a different play here. And if I look at it, there's not one piece that we currently have on the board that we can sacrifice because we lose synergies one way or the other. So we either have to get our quality up really quickly, or we have to econ up and level to level 9, and we could then get that second 2-star Dragonite on, and that would actually help us tremendously because he's such a great carry, and to have 2 of him would be good news. We don't have items either, so we've got a couple now, but we didn't have items, so that's not something that was an option. Snailey's out, and and CRZs is still in there, so he's surviving quite long with his 1 HP and his 1 econ. Okay, so I'm not sure if I'm going to pick up that Lightning Blade. I really want to get Lightning Blade to 3-star, especially, you know, I think where it can become tricky is with mages, because Lightning Blade, his damage shoots across multiple units, and that actually just helps them generate mana quite quickly. So pros and cons to having him at level 3 against a mage comp, and we know that our top comp at the moment in Exabyte is a mage comp, and a strong one at that, so we need to be careful of that. This is the Glacier Warrior team, Greg, who beat us substantially on his board, but I think on this board we're actually having a little bit more luck. The Defector does pull through though, and oh, it's going to be, we're actually going to take it. Wow. Yeah, we do. Okay, so we just pulled through there, and we didn't make any substantial changes. I think there were a couple of items, and maybe that made the difference, because when he beat us on his board, it was quite a substantial beating. We do get our next level 2 Hell Knight, so we must definitely pick that up, and we make the decision to level up, so that's great. We now have 2 2-star Dragonites. Our HP is reasonable, so we're on 20 HP. So if you look at everyone from position 2 down to the bottom, they're all around the 20 mark. So from Greg to Chimera, we're all around the 20 mark. So quite a closely contested match this. And CRZs is actually on a win streak with Chimera, so everyone's actually got their comps into the position that they want them to be in now, and now it's all going to come down to, you know, who survives and who doesn't. So this is a very interesting battle because we lost quite substantially here last time, and I think we're going to... Tortola Elder comes with the clutch at the end of that round, so very strong composition there, and that's CRZ's as well, so he's also gone, but he's gone Dragon Mage, and we've gone Dragon Knight. So interesting the slight differences that the two make, but I think I'd like to try a Dragon Mage combo as well. Maybe I'll clip a bit on that one as well sometime if I can get it right. But I'm still reasonably happy with where we are. All these teams still have to face one another, so it's going to make life quite tricky. And Exabyte has dropped off from top position. Oh, I guess he's kind of tied for first position now, but his HP is definitely much lower than what it was. Now we face Chimera, who's on a winning streak, and a big winning streak as well with this Hunter build. And I can see why. It is super strong, and it's absolutely that Ghost Prophet that's helping deliver a lot of the damage there.
You played well.
Really strong backline with the Draw Sniper and the Wind Ranger, so comfortable to have lost that. And now we're in a troubled position. We've only got 10 HP, so we don't have Econ to work with, to roll on, and we don't have items. We don't have potential for a 10th player or 10th piece on the board. So what are we left with? Positioning. That's the only thing that we can really change now is positioning. And I mean, with a lot of the guys being really low HP, I mean, if you look from Chimera down, you all, in fact, everyone's 20 HP or less, and there's still 6 people in the game. So that just shows you how closely contested this match is. But someone will need to fall eventually, and hopefully it's not us. This is Clown, and I don't think we've actually faced Clown a lot. He's running an interesting comp, but I think because we've got our 2 Dragon Knights, we will pull through here. There, and Greg falls off. So Greg is out. And he actually was in first position not too long ago, above Exabyte. So Greg falls out, CRZ's finally falls, and he was also running the Dragon comp. So that means we're the last Dragon player in this current lobby. So we roll down a little bit and we get all the mana pieces in the world. So that's awesome. Mana pieces are so useful in this dragon setup, because you can use it for not only your dragons but your not only your dragon knights but your shining dragon and your venom as well. If you guys don't know, Venom's ultimate attacks the highest damage player on the other team. So that's such a useful thing to have when you've got like a mage team where you've got one really high DPS player, and it will attack that individual or that piece. And now we've got Clown, who's on 1 HP. We've got Chimera on 8 HP and Exabyte on 8 HP and us on 10 HP. So it is extremely close. I'm almost thinking we should use the Strange Egg on our Gali, because we have been losing some matches. Our HP has been dropping. So if we don't make a change now, we're in real trouble. And this is sort of the only change that we can make with that egg at this stage. We can't wait another round, because we can really just be out this round. So slight reposition there. This is a nice strong comp actually. It would have been nice to have gotten a higher quality composition in terms of our Hell Knight and our Lightning Blade and our Frost Knight. I would definitely have liked to get those to 3-star, but we didn't get the pieces we want. So it's all going to come down to what happens here. And this is Exabyte. So he's running that mage comp that has been so difficult for us to beat. And it's all going to come down to our 2 Dragon Knights. And I mean, he's still got 6 players on the board here, or 6 pieces on the board. Chimera falls out, Clown falls out, and it's just us left. He's got the 3-star Thunder Spirit, and he is hitting us. We take him out, we take out the Storm Shaman, and we win that round. So that is uber close. Okay, so it looks like it's going to come down to one more round. We have Exabyte and myself left. Clown and Chimera fell out in the previous round. And there's not much that we can do. We obviously have items that we can utilize now, but we do reposition, because I think my logic here was that I wanted the Shining Dragon to shoot straight down through the middle as opposed to diagonally. Whether it was the right choice or not, I'm not sure, but he's definitely going to be directly in front of us now. And as Chaos Squirrel mentioned the other day, I mean, you want to make sure that you are diagonally opposite to your mage players, and I think that when I did the maths, I did it incorrectly here. But either way, this is a super close match, and yeah, as Chaos mentioned, you need to understand where you want to spend your time. Are you going to spend it on items? Are you going to spend it on repositioning? And I selected repositioning there, and I missed out on the opportunity to put on items that could potentially have made a difference. But Exabyte's team was super strong. Notice though, on Exabyte's map, we beat him. So we did come second there, but he also actually died on his board. It was just after us, so we'll take the second place, but it was an extremely close match. So I really enjoyed that, and I hope you guys did too. It's my first Dragon Knight composition, and it was such a fun game to play. So I really enjoyed that. It was great going up against a King 2, and I think we did well, all things considered. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please drop a like and a subscribe, and thank you for all the support. We will check you in the next gameplay. Until then, enjoy. Cheers.